This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
As you do your day, if you look around, there is beauty and creativity and art in everything around you. We're so busy, we usually don't even see it. You could even see the beauty and the art in a tree, maybe a tree that was once dead and came back to life. Life goes on. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today. He sees it all as a photographer, but he's also radically different in that he's also an artist when it comes to his photography. Lots to talk about with him today. Learned so much even on the photography end of things, but he also has so many great prints available for you, and in all different subjects as well. Our professional of the year, Alan Goldberg, back with us. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. My girlfriend has been down for the last few days. She's going to be here for a while, and we're going around and seeing some of the sights of the area. We may even go up to Kennedy Space Center. I've been there twice, once since I moved down here, but I've been there a long time ago when the space shuttle program was still going on. But
it's a really cool place. I've been there too.
Yeah, there's just so much to do.
Oh my gosh. And randomly, a year and a half ago, went to see a coworker who got a Airbnb on the beach in Cocoa Beach, and wasn't even planned this way, but they were launching a SpaceX rocket when I was there, and it was perfect timing, like 3:30 in the afternoon, and just walked out to the beach, and then you see it taking off, across the water.
And it happened so fast.
Oh,
a couple of weeks ago, I'm leaving for school, and it's almost 6:00. It was the day of or the day after, 2 days after the eclipse. And I'm on my way to school, and I see this streak, and it's dark. So, you can't see the rocket itself, but you see the plume of the smoke and the exhaust. And I just had to pull over and took a quick shot because it's just so interesting. Especially having grown up during the early 60s and watching the Mercury program and the Gemini program and the Apollo program from the TV rather than to be down here. And it was just interesting to see how the shape of the exhaust made in the sky. So just see it go up. So quickly.
Yeah. And I know the one you're talking about. Because you said early in the morning, and I was thinking about doing it, and woke up just randomly right around the time would be. But it was kind of cloudy here in the Northeast, so I was like, man, I'm not going to see it. So what's that picture you got back of you?
Okay, well, this is a picture of a tree that stands out in the middle of this marsh at Green Cay Wetland and Nature Reserve. And I've been looking at this tree for the last 5 years and photographing it whenever I get there or whenever I go there. And it's got this it's a dead tree. You can see it's broken off, but yet there's still life in that tree. And, the branches keep growing and life goes on. And, with all of the things that I've had happen to me in my life, this tree is very symbolic of what I've been through, and I keep plugging. I just got a relatively new app and appliance, a health appliance, and it measures your respiration and heartbeat and exercise and recovery. And it's, you put in your chronological age, and then after about a week, it tells you what kind of, biological age you are. And
I'd be afraid to know.
Well,
But
I was too. Now, I don't know whether it's a gimmick or not. I feel young.
mhm.
I'm 72. I'm going to be
I,
73 in July.
wow, you look great.
Telling
Wow.
me that I'm biologically 26 years old. I may not feel it all the time, but I've got those aches and pains of a 70-year-old. But um, but
Does
life
it
goes.
sound weird to say of a 70-year-old? Because I look at you, I don't think that, and it's
No,
not the mindset. And I'm closing in on you, my friend.
yeah. Well, it's like there's only a few times where I feel old.
Mhm.
Um, but for the most part, I'm like where I live. I'm a youngster. Um, there's a lot of people there's only a handful of people in my community in a active 55 plus community that are actually younger than I am where I live. And I'm the kid. There's one gentleman that lives upstairs from me who is the relative of a singer that was a rival of Frank Sinatra's, who is 83 years old. And he and I have, we have a lot in common because of our performance and art and stuff like that. But,
Mhm.
he's of that generation where they're not that sophisticated as far as computer use. So I go up and help him every now and then. Hey, how do I do this?
Sure.
Um, so and it's just very interesting to see the mix of the I'm going to say the pre-baby boomers and the boomers that are here, and then the generation, I guess it's Generation X or whatever comes after. um, I was never good with remembering which generation was which decade.
Mm.
uh, I know my daughters are millennials, and my granddaughter's just one of those tweens kind of things. So, um, it's just life goes on.
That
Uh,
tree says it. That tree says a lot. And even before you said why you photographed that tree and why it resonates with you, it resonated with me. I get it. I look at it. It looks like it could be dead wood.
I've actually prepared a number of. If you'll let me share, let me get these pictures here. Um, where are you? Let me get you back. There we are. Okay, if I can share.
Gotcha. There we go.
Okay. Okay. So this is. I think this is the screen. Yes. Okay. So um, yesterday I got out my infrared camera, and these were some flowers right at the water's edge. And you'll notice that in this area here, there's a little butterfly
Yeah.
that was like, if you just look, you don't see it. And I actually artificially colored its wings so you can. And I turned it into like a little mini art piece.
Love it.
And then here's another of, now these are all infrared photos.
Now, can you explain
that I've
infrared for us?
Infrared is just a different spectrum of light that we can't see. Infrared is what we use for heat lamps.
And what are
In
you
restaurants.
doing? Are you doing? Is it a different setting, different lens, or different post treatment?
Everything is the same except for the sensor in the camera.
So you're using a true infrared camera.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. That is a glossy. No, that is a white ibis in a tree that's right out behind my home. And I just made it look like an acrylic that had like a watercolor kind of splash over it. So, it turns it into a different level of art. And then here is, I'm going to go through this. This is the actual photo taken right out of the camera. And that is a great blue heron or heron. Um, and you can see I'm, trying to avoid it from flying away. And then I color balanced it for the infrared. And then I turned it into the style of art that I've done. So that's kind of like what's going on there.
Now I got to ask.
Um,
Let's dissect this a little bit. It's beautiful how the trees around the bird frame the whole thing. Perfect. When you took that picture, did you take it with that intent, or did you crop it in because, let's say, maybe
I'm going to say that I didn't take it with that intent. I took it with intent to, well, maybe a little bit, but I took it with the intent to get the bird, and it just lent itself from where I was to, trying to hide behind on the other side of the tree from where the bird was. And, it just worked out that it acted as a perfect frame for the picture.
My gosh, it's almost as if you put it together that way. Like if you were painting it, you might say, well, let me put a tree here, put another tree here, make them on an angle.
Yeah, I felt like, what is it, Bob Vila, the painter? Not Bob Vila. Bob Vila was the home guy, but the guy with the frizzed hair
Bob Ross, right?
Bob Ross. Okay. Yeah. I knew I was right with a Bob.
Yeah. And I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Okay. And this was a regular picture of that tree before I turned it into the artwork. And you can see that there's all kinds of tiny little holes from woodpeckers and stuff like that get their food from there. And that's it. I mean, it's like, it's there, and it's an ever living testament to life on our planet and how we just do things. And
so when you take a picture, that photograph, there's not much going on with the sky there. It was kind of cloudy in the background. There was seemed we have illumination from the sun, but there's some clouds. When you look at that, now that you've been doing this for quite some time, are you looking at it in terms of what you could do? Like, all right, there's not a lot to work with these clouds in the background.
You can change the contrast and the light and highlights and darks and whatnot, but between the highlights and the contrast, you can pick up some of the detail, and that's basically where we are with that. It's just a matter of knowing your photography and your software settings.
Yeah, because I'm imagining that you could pull something out of that, and certainly the.
Actually, that is the picture that's behind me. That is artwork.
How much did you work on that to get it to where it is?
Not much. It's just a matter of I'm going to say less than a dozen clicks.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing this, but I wanted to get back with you as life goes on. I look forward to hopefully seeing you at the end of July or August for the award.
Yeah, come on by.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of, at this time I've had to take a step back from working with galleries and putting my stuff out there that way. And I'm kind of like in the middle of a rediscovery of direct sales kind of thing. So that's if somebody sees my page, then I will go out and sell. But right now, my focus is more on my art. So, um, and I wanted to show you these pictures because they're more nature oriented.
Sure.
And without nature, we would be nowhere.
We are nature. That was the epiphany I had a year or so ago. Everything, we come from nature, and it's no wonder that we feel so comfortable and grounded when we walk in the woods or walk by the beach or whatever. What is the attraction? It's because we came from nature essentially.
Right. Um, you know, I don't know if it hit the national news, but down here, the big thing was they had a referendum for Boca Raton. Um, there was a group of people that wanted to sell or lease some public land or improvement and whatnot. And it was defeated because people felt, for the most part, overwhelmingly felt that the development of Boca has gone way too fast. They're selling a lot of the farms that were here, and they want to keep it, and they're putting up $1 million homes, and they just said, let's slow down a little bit. But so I was very happy that won. So I taught nature, pioneering, survival, and science for the last 30 years, and
Oh wow.
I was very happy to hear that. Hey, wait a minute, we got people that are actually thinking about where we're going. But like I said, I'm going to keep pushing my clothing line, and I'm going to keep pushing my photography and my photo art. And I do. Oh, one of the other things, and I want to. I may ask you to share some stuff again.
Sure.
I want to get this up. Last week, one of the musicians that I photographed passed away. His name was Tommy DiCarlo.
Oh yeah.
And he
Wow.
was the lead singer for Boston.
Yep.
And
Passed from cancer. He was in his 60s.
yeah, brain cancer he had.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't an original member of Boston.
No, he was not. And Tommy told me this story when I met him in 2019, where he sent an audition tape in because they were looking for a replacement. And they actually thought that he had taken a tape of the original singer.
Wow. Yeah.
And he submitted it with his name on it. And they called him out on it. And what happened was that when they heard him, they hired him basically on the spot. They said, "You're it." So I'm going to ask if you could. Can I still share?
I believe so. I haven't changed anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There we go.
There's a picture of Tommy.
Wow.
And I met him and his son that year. We were both doing a benefit for that Dove House that I had told you about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Tommy, and he was just a really warm and friendly. And I love this shot too because it just is so expressive.
That's pretty amazing. Oof.
Wow. And, he's one of a few of the people that I have photographed that have since passed on. And to be so young, it was like I said, I'm 72, and this guy I was 12 years old when he was born. So it's kind of like, odd.
Yeah. And just the I've been to their concerts, even when he was performing. Amazing. Like, that's a great shot. Like, just even the lighting. And I love the fact the way it turned out, where there's highlighting on the arm that's holding the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it all works. Really nice.
Some of the people that are musician friends of mine that I've made along the way said, "You know how to capture me?" And I said, "It's been because I've paid attention to how you move, the lighting, this, that, and everything else. I may not be the most perfect photo in the world, but I capture the spirit and soul of that person." So, Tommy, like I said, I think I captured Tommy at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Amazing. Yeah, I just want to share with everybody that you, in terms of versatility, in terms of the art, it's not just nature, not just people. You photograph everything, and it's all on your website, beautifully cataloged. You can see the prints. If something resonates, hey, listen, we're heading into spring and summer. If you're looking for a change up in maybe your living room, you want to freshen it up with a fresh photograph directly from the artist / photographer. Go there. I could spend hours, and I get geeky sometimes, so I'm actually dissecting, like, all right, how did he do that? Where did he take that? Did he crop it? What was going on with that?
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun seeing what you do from, let's say, taking a picture of a singer in a band and then taking a picture of flowers, how you can do that. It's just a different subject. Final question. I was thinking about you yesterday, and I don't know how this came up, but I went down a rabbit hole of looking at this photographer's work, Ansel Adams.
Oh, my hero.
Unbelievable. Like, off my radar.
He had L's in his camera.
Yeah.
I've seen, I have books of his photographs. And first of all, he had one of those big old 8x10 negative. So the amount of detail and the film emulsion that he used. And some of them, I think, may have even been, pretty much film emulsion as opposed to glass.
It just blows my mind. That was the 40s, the 50s. He was taking some of those pictures, and just the detail, I'm like, what? And I can appreciate it. When I was younger, in my upper teens, I built a dark room. Truth be told, it was in the attic. I had to crawl. I couldn't stand up, like literally crawl from one tray to the next tray, to the acid bath, to the developer and stop bath.
Stop bath, yeah.
And so I can appreciate the tonal quality and all of that. But that was with a 35 millimeter camera, years later. And here it's just amazing. Just it's crazy.
It was even more primitive when he was doing it, because there was
that's what I'm saying.
Cartridge film, and there was no cartridge. There was,
crazy.
The negative was in a container, like in a slat.
Yeah.
And it
just, that's, you got to throw him props and credit for that. And then I also understand that he developed some kind of either camera or process to bring out detail. But anyway.
Right. That was the zone, what's called the zone system.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. Crazy. Your website, anyway. Limited editions by Alan.com. You approach it in the same way as Mr. Adams in terms of seeing.
You know what? Thank you. That is probably one of the most endearing compliments that I've ever gotten.
I've seen your work. Look, I was thinking of you yesterday. Somebody mentioned Ansel Adams, and I'm like, I remember, but I don't. And then I'm thinking of you with some of the wildlife shots, the beach shots, and all of that. So great having you on here, and I appreciate your views on life and art at the same time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, and then we'll catch up soon. Okay.
Alrighty. Limited editions by Alan.com.
You got it.
Anybody else wants to get out there?
Go there, check it out. Just instead of scrolling on social and like silly reels and videos like that, see some real art.
This is the Global Podcast Network. where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.